Hello, everybody. Welcome back here to another episode of the Gravette Line Sports Podcast. As always, I'm Brody Bohannon.
Logan Miller.
And I'm Cash May.
And we're going to, in this episode, we got Logan here. He's going to skim over the Wrestling State Championship, how everything went. And me and Cash will go over baseball and softball. Unfortunately, Kinley or Mira could not be found to film this, so we're going to have to go without him for this episode. But Logan, thank you for being on, and just go over your expectations going into the state tournament for all of Gravette Wrestling, and how you guys pulled through to defeat Pottsville and win.
Yeah, so the expectations were pretty high. We qualified all 14 wrestlers, which was better than everybody else because I think we were the only team to qualify all 14. So we were going in there pretty confident, and Pottsville, we honestly weren't worrying as much about Pottsville. We were worrying more about Shiloh because they gave us a pretty good run at regionals, but ended up being Pottsville. And first round of wrestling, so if you win all of yours, you wrestle 3 matches total. And the very first round of wrestling, we all wrestled really well. I don't think anybody lost in the first round. Actually, scratch that. I think one person lost in the first round. But we did really good there, and I think we got a little bit overconfident because the second round we struggled a little bit. We had a few guys that had to go on the backside, and that kind of screwed us over. We were still up pretty high points-wise, but it was like it kind of allowed them to come back. If we could have ended it in the second round, and then we got to the third round, and it was like neck and neck with Pottsville. They kind of came back. They had a bunch of guys in the finals and the third place matches, but it eventually actually came down to Porter Bird's match where he locked it up against the Pottsville kid, actually. And that, honestly, most hype moment of the entire tournament. It was pretty sick.
That's awesome. So obviously you're a senior and a couple other guys are. So, what are the shoes to fill in for next year? And, what is it going to take to three-peat as state champions?
It's gonna take a lot of effort because, we're pretty senior heavy this year, and this is the inaugural, this senior class was the first class to start wrestling. So it's kind of up to we're going to have a lot of freshmen coming in. So it's just up to the coaches to get them ready and do what we do, which, I believe in them heavily. I think we have the best coaches in the state for sure. And, it's going to be a little bit rough. We'll have to see how the season goes, but depending on the approach of the coaches for future success or next year, it's going to be hard. I don't know about next year.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Coach Herline will do a great job. He's completely turned around the Gravette wrestling culture, and it's been going really, really well for you guys, and I'm super excited what the future holds. So now we'll just quickly, me and Cash can go over baseball and softball real fast. So we're filming this on Wednesday, and as of now, baseball and softball played on Monday. Yes. Baseball took on Farmington. Farmington jumped out to an early 2-0 lead, but the Gravette bats really woke up in that first and second inning and then kind of quieted down. Farmington tried to make some noise at the end, but couldn't really get anything going, and Gravette wins 7-5.
Yeah, my takeaway from that game, offense looked really good. I think even though we did quiet down, offense looked way too good to really focus on quieting down like that. Some notable things I remember from the game, Cole Lacey with a 2 or 3 RBI triple in the bottom of this first or bottom of the second inning?
Yeah, it was bottom of the first inning.
Yeah.
We had runners on first and second, I believe.
Yeah.
Or no, bases were loaded.
So
actually.
a bases clearing RBI triple. JD Beam swung it really well. Logan Renfro swung it really well. All around, the bat was swung well. And even for the guys that, like me, for example, didn't have a great day at the plate, still was able to get on, saw pitches well. Pitching was a little shaky at times, but I think overall we had a great game from you. We had a great game from Jackson Harp. Jackson Harp threw a solid 70 pitches. I think when he was in, he only held him to what, 4? Was he 2?
4 runs.
4?
He gave up 4 runs,
okay.
and then I gave up that one in the 6th.
But so stretching that out over 5 innings is really good.
Oh, yeah.
So if I were to take anything away, I would say keep the bats rolling, maybe work a little bit on pitching, be in the moment, and keep the energy up.
And the defense also made a tremendous job. I think we only had one error.
I believe we only had one, yeah.
It was a great job on the defense, and I wish we had the softball players here because we did not get to watch softball game. Our game finish an inning earlier, so we didn't get to watch much. But from what I heard, Gravette jumped out to an early lead in that one, and then Greenwood, came out, and I think it was the 5th or 6th inning, and put up a 7th spot. They hit a grand slam and a 3-run homer, and that was I wouldn't say the nail in the coffin, but that totally took away Gravette's energy and momentum, and Gravette falls 10-9, just couldn't really string that final run in that last inning.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing with baseball. We struggled with it at the end of the year last year with actually finishing games. The 5th to the 7th, we would fall short and just kind of, ease up. Obviously, I can't fully say that that's what happened because, we didn't see what happened, but you can only assume from things like that you let them up, you let up, you took your foot off the gas. And obviously, pitching comes down to that too. Again, we don't know how those 3 runners got on base that led to a grand slam. We don't know how those 2 that got on led to the 3-run home run. But the aspect of just finishing games, keeping the energy up, things of that nature. But it's the first actual game of the year. I don't think that this softball team will have much of a problem. Just one bad game doesn't define a team. So.
Exactly. And baseball will take on Harrison on Thursday and Grove at home on Friday. And the ladies will play Hackett at home on Thursday. So we'll have analysis on those games on next week's podcast. We appreciate you guys tuning in. And until next week, we'll see y'all.